The United States' security commitment to South Korea has long been one of the top agenda items between the two allies, but how much of a stretch to that commitment can we expect from the Yoon-Biden summit this week? For more, we're joined by Lieutenant General retired Chun In-bum. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Good morning. First off, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol in an interview last week raised the need for stronger countermeasures against North Korea as well as nuclear threats that are as powerful as NATOs. What does that mean?
So although our deterrence has been working against the North Koreans so far, as everybody knows, North Korea has been improving their nuclear capability, including a lot of missile launches, and they're getting better. So it's time that we look at where we are, putting all options on the table, and to see if it's enough. So I think a comprehensive discussion will be following these summit meetings.
Right, and there are also speculations and hopes that a Korean version of NATO's so-called nuclear sharing deal is expected to be on the summit agenda. Now, what details will be included there? I mean, what would such a nuclear sharing agreement look like?
So I think the more accurate phrase would be that the United States and Korea will be looking at the extended deterrence posture between the two countries. Mm-hmm. So within that framework, nuclear sharing will be included. Nuclear sharing refers to the NATO type, which is, number one, a U.S. nuclear weapon system being delivered by NATO countries. Number two, in order to do that, NATO member countries, about 5 of them, participate in what is called a nuclear planning group. In the NPG, they plan and practice for this delivery. Now, this NPG is, in my view, more important because that's where they share concepts and limitations and restrictions, which furthers understanding. This is what we need. We need to know what the consequences, what the restrictions are, and all the things that will come. So when nuclear sharing does occur, or when it should occur, the NPG part, which is now the extended deterrence working group that we have on the South Korean-United States relationship, that is probably what is more important. So what I'm looking at now is a more detailed and constructed extended deterrence working shop on the Korean Peninsula.
Sure. And also in line with that question, quoting a high-ranking American official, Reuters reported over the weekend that the Biden administration will pledge, quote, substantial steps to underscore the U.S. commitment to deterring a North Korean nuclear attack on South Korea. Now, what could those substantial steps be?
So here's the problem. If North Korea was ever to succeed in having the ability to strike the United States, it'll take them about 40 minutes from launch to impact. In that time, I would speculate that North Korea would already be seeing a United States reaction. In other words, even before the North Korean missile hit a U.S. city, North Korea, Pyongyang would probably be bombed. On the Korean Peninsula, we have 3 minutes. So there's no time for even to think about what are the responses will be. So this is a big difference between where you're sitting, whether you're sitting in Washington or Seoul. So what might be substantial in the eyes of the Americans might not be substantial in the eyes of the Koreans. So this is the gap that the two nations must understand and try to narrow as much as possible.
Right, and a lot of experts, including you, say U.S. extended deterrence should come out as more than just a commitment signed and sealed on the paper, like you said, more constructive. Then how much of practical extended deterrence should Washington provide to Seoul this time?
Well, actually, I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm seeing right now. Number one, what I'm seeing is a strong wording, simple but very strong, which is end of the regime. I hope North Korea knows what this means. And so if North Korea uses nuclear weapons, it'll be the end of the regime. The United States, unfortunately, has not been using this phrase, and I really feel comfortable with that. Secondly, every time North Korea fires off a missile, the United States has shown their resolve and capability by sending B-1s and B-2s. So now we've had so many of them, we feel, that's another practice run. But again, it shows the will of the United States and the capability of the alliance to conduct these kind of counteroffensive actions. So right now we're pretty good. But still, there are things that we need to talk about. And the real important thing is, does North Korea believe that the United States is cruel enough to kill women and children?
I see. All right, we'll keep an close eye on the summit, especially on that so-called nuclear sharing and also the extended version of extended deterrence from Washington to Seoul. All right, thank you so much for your time and insight this morning.
Thank you.